Good afternoon. Mayor Shawyn, Patterson Howard, Commissioner Glenn Scott, and our law enforcement partners and citizens of Mount Vernon. Today I'm here to discuss our department's summer 2023 gun crime reduction strategy. Our plan is to utilize intelligence-based policing from our local police department intelligence unit to identify hotspot zones. These zones will be identified for gun violence, gang activity, and pattern crimes such as robberies and assaults. Once these zones are identified, our department will coordinate with our patrol and detective division for our response. We will also reevaluate these zones as they are fluid and tend to change with crime and crime patterns. These areas will also be patrolled with a zero tolerance for crimes, vehicle traffic infractions, and quality of life violations such as gambling and public drinking. We have found that violent crimes and guns do not respect borders. To this end, we are working with our law enforcement partners that are here today. The FBI Safe Streets, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Federal Marshals, and the New York State Police. Our partners will aid us with investigations and sharing of intelligence. The people of Mount Vernon will see our partners actively working in this city this summer. Our department will use the full force of the state and federal system to stop gun violence. We believe our plan covers the three pillars of 21st century policing, which is prevention, intervention, and enforcement. We ask citizens who witness crimes and are victims of crimes to call our dispatch at 914-665-2500 or our detective division at 914-665-2510. With that said, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor Shawyn Patterson Howard.
Thank you, Chief Olifiers. Definitely, again, want to thank all of our city leadership. Want to thank our city council as well, who are our partners in this work and in this effort. Today I have some announcements that I'm ready to make regarding public safety. But before I make these announcements, let's talk about public safety strategy. Our strategy is based on 4 key pillars. Prevention. We believe the best way to reduce gun violence is to prevent it from happening in the first place. To that end, we will be partnering with community organizations, schools, and other stakeholders to provide educational programs and other resources aimed at deterring young people from joining gangs or engaging in other criminal activities. With the Youth Bureau, we're continuing our summer youth employment training program where we will be hiring over 200 young people from our community. Our Entrepreneurship Academy for 7th and 8th grade will be from July and August at the Columbus Leadership Academy. Fitness Fridays will take place all summer long, every Friday from July to August at Columbus Leadership Academy. With the Recreation Department, we'll have the following programs: Junior Camp Monday through Friday, Summer Basketball Monday through Friday, Monday Night Movies starting on July 10th, Summer Breeze concerts every Tuesday starting July 5th, Hoops at Heavy D Park every Saturday in July. All of these summer events and programs will be on our websites, and so please download CMVN Connect and Simplicity app to stay up to date. Intervention. Despite our best efforts at prevention, we know that some individuals will still turn to violence in those cases. And so we'll be working closely with our law enforcement partners to identify and intervene with high-risk individuals before they commit a crime. And to that end, we work closely with the SNUG program, which is a community violence intervention program that uses a public health model that identifies those who are most likely to shoot or to be shot. And so we will continue to work closely with SNUG and build out that partnership. Enforcement. We'll be increasing our enforcement efforts, including, as our chief said, targeted patrols in high crime areas, increased use of technology and analytics to identify potential crime hotspots, and stronger focus on getting illegal guns off the streets. And I'm only saying stronger focus because I don't think there is a department in the county that is actually taking more guns off the streets through proactive policing than Mount Vernon Police Department. So in no way do I want to make it seem like we weren't taking this seriously before. We were taking it seriously before, and we're going to further coordinate our efforts to see if we can get greater and deeper impact. There'll be much more on our website and through our social media, and that we'll be sending out through e-blasts, so you understand the breadth and the depth of the programs that are being offered by the Youth Bureau and the Recreation Department. You say, why is that important? Because anytime anything happens, the first thing that people say is that there is nothing to do in Mount Vernon. What it is, there's a lot to do in Mount Vernon. Some of it is very low cost, and most of it is free. But we have to have people take advantage of it. It's hard for us to knock on everyone's doorbell or door and tell you what's happening. And so we need everyone to use their smartphones and their computers to connect in and see what we are doing also. So some of the other things that we will be doing here in the announcements that I really want to make, and I'm sorry because I don't usually use notes, but there's a lot, and so I want to make sure that we're getting all of this in. Some of the fall, spring, and summer programs, we have basketball, we have boxing at the Dole Center, we have a sports youth clinic at the STEAM Academy, we have soccer at the Sports Zone Underdome, baseball at Mount Vernon High School Turf Room, RBI baseball, which is an instructional baseball program at Brush Park. We also have Little League, which is your competitive baseball, also at Brush Park. We have Double Dutch. We have track and field and instructional rugby that is happening at Memorial Field. Tennis, instructional and recreational at Memorial Field. There is the Mount Vernon Summer Recreation Basketball Summer Clinic that happens at Mount Vernon High School. Hoops at Hartley and hoops at Heavy D Park. Those are programs that will be happening. Mount Vernon Recreation Summer Junior Camp and Park Activation. With the Youth Bureau, we have the Community Adolescent Pregnancy Prevention Program. We have the Youth Employment Training and Program Services. We have the Girls Embracing Maturity Summer Program, GEMS. We have the Safe Haven Summer Youth Program. We have the Clean Energy Academy that we do in partnership and we'll be doing at Westchester Community College. Ready for Life, Healthcare Academy, Step Up Summer Program. So those are, and the Safe Haven programs through the Youth Bureau. And the last piece is I just wanted to announce some of our initiatives. And so again, going back to our pillars, we talked about prevention. And so when we speak about prevention, public safety is more than just policing. We are putting the public back in public safety. And to that end, we want to work with our neighborhood associations, some of which are very well established and others that are loosely established, to adopt what they've done in Seattle, which is have a block watch program that encourages residents to form small groups and work together to prevent crime in their neighborhood. Block watch participants are trained on how to identify and report suspicious activity. They receive information about crime trends and prevention strategies from the police department, and the program also provides block watch signs and window decals to display in homes as well as businesses to deter criminals from targeting their neighborhoods. We will partner with also some of our not-for-profits in setting this up and our Office of Emergency Management. The biggest assets in community safety is when everyone understands that it is their part. One of the other initiatives that we will be doing when we're talking about prevention is the Ring Camera Initiative. The City of Mount Vernon will partner with our community and our businesses to purchase and help install over 500 Ring cameras throughout the city. That is just a start. But we want to make sure that our net of surveillance is larger because, again, criminals tend to shy away from where cameras exist. And again, we want to make sure that the community is feeling empowered and engaged, and we're bringing them into this process, and we will give more information about that. When we talk about intervention, again, the SNUG program being intervention, and then also we will be bringing back, after we've spoken with some of our clergy and people in our community, the peacekeepers. And so the city will provide support and some training to the peacekeepers. The peacekeepers existed in Mount Vernon years ago, and it was individuals in the community who have lived experience, some former police, former military, men in the community, women in the community, who walked through the community as a neighborhood force, not police, but then also engaging our young people in the community to find out what it is that they need, so that they don't feel that they're invisible. But again, it is an additional presence in our community that helps people know that we care and we're not looking the opposite way. The other thing that we are doing when it comes to diversion, we continue to have our Emerging Adult Justice Program, which is our youth court, our court for those between the ages of 18 and 24, and they will continue to have their cases go through them. We have our youth court, which is for 13 to 17, and that meets twice per month. So young people at that age range who are finding themselves involved in criminal or bad activities, that they'll be able to get extra addition and support through there. And then also what we will be doing is, we understand and we know that June is violence prevention and gun prevention and awareness month. And so with that being Gun Prevention and Awareness Month, on June 2nd, we will be offering a gun buyback program. That gun buyback program will be run by the City of Mount Vernon in conjunction with some of our local law enforcement partners, community organizations, and it will be held at Centennial Church here in the City of Mount Vernon, and we will be sharing further information on that. And so we just want to let you know that we are not ignorant of the challenge of public safety. And so as we share more of our plan as to what we're doing, we're also going to turn around and we're going to ask neighborhood associations, building associations, youth groups, and community groups, faith-based organizations, our Chamber of Commerce, and our business community, what are they willing to do to assist us with crime prevention in Mount Vernon. And just to make this also last and short, we'll be doing this work also in conjunction because it's about quality of life. And we know that when we have broken windows, meaning garbage and dumping in neighborhoods, when lights are out, when shrubbery is growing, it gives cover to people to hide and do criminal activities. And so our Department of Public Works, through the Love My City campaign, will continue to address zombie houses and areas of our city that are overgrown where people kind of hide behind. They hide behind bushes to do criminal activity. We will be addressing those. We'll be making sure that we're doing an assessment of the street lights throughout the city that have been broken so that we can make sure that the city is well lit. And our building department will definitely be working with our police department, our fire department, our Office of Emergency Management, and the law department to crack down on code enforcement issues throughout the city. And so those are some of the things that we will be doing here in the City of Mount Vernon. And again, we are asking for the citizens' assistance and help. Like they say, when you see something, say something. And we want to make sure that people are properly trained, because we don't want people in this community to feel like they have to be vigilantes, but we do want them to know that we are looking for them to be partners, and we want to properly prepare them to be partners. So with that being said, do we have any questions? Oh, last thing, our wellness division will continue to address mental health. We have a co-response division as part of our Mount Vernon Police Department Wellness Division. They focus on a co-response. So if there's a mental health issue, homeless, domestic violence, substance abuse, veterans, youth, our Wellness Division of the Police Department leads those efforts. They have a substation on Gramerton Avenue. The address is 203 Gramerton Avenue. It's down near the Dollar Tree, correct? It's after Intellectus, the alternative school, or the charter school and before you get to Dollar Tree. So there is a police substation there. That is where the wellness division is located, and there are social workers and counselors and peer counselors and intervention specialists that are there that can provide assistance. And in a larger capacity, we're also part of a 29-city what we're called Summer of Safety 2023. And so we're working with the Community Capacity Development, and they will come up and work with us to offer additional trainings to our residents so they know how they can get involved in a proper way. So with that being said, Q&A?
Yes, Mayor, in regards to gun buyback, municipalities around your city been having that program for years. Attorney General just launched one last week or 2 weeks ago. Your program is a one specific day program, or is it an entire year round? Can anyone come at any time?
Well, it's usually not a year-round program. They usually pick specific days that they might do it. And so Peekskill recently had one, so it's not necessarily year-round. But we are looking at not just a one-day gun buyback, but other ways that we can do creative gun buybacks that are just not one-day focused. But we have to make sure that we're doing it right. And I've been involved in successful gun buyback programs that operate on more than just one day. But right now, we are starting on June 2nd. There will be a gun buyback program offered at Centennial Church here in Mount Vernon, and we will release flyers and information for that.
No questions asked when the gun...
There is never any questions asked when a gun is handed in at a gun buyback.
Thank you, Madam.
And they will be giving, those who bring in a gun will receive a gift card, as their gun is being processed as the reward for bringing in a gun.
Thank you.
I'm hearing a lot of programs that involve the community, the block watch party, the peacekeepers. We already struggle with getting people to come forward when we have these incidents, and a lot of vertical assaults. How are you going to bridge that gap and getting people to be on the city side to become partners?
Absolutely, and that's why I said we're partnering with community capacity development, right? Because we can have people who sit on the sidelines and who live in fear or just point fingers and they become disengaged. But this is an organization that works with community, works with neighbors, works with Miss Mary on the block and Mr. Joe, or school teachers or people who might be afraid to come forward. If in any city, it is only 1 to 2% of citizens that are actively involved in criminal activities. And if any community, gives over 98% of the community to the 2% of the community, then there's almost nothing that police and government can do. And so it has to be an active partnership. And every model that has shown that it works is when community is engaged. And so when we're properly training, educating, and supporting our residents, I believe that we can make a difference in our community.
And last summer, we had one day where there was 4 people shot, 2 people stabbed all in one day. We had all these programs that you offered each summer, employment, all these really great programs, but still we had those kinds of incidents. So do you feel that...
And you're going to have those incidents. I mean, look, we can have policing, and we're not going to turn Mount Vernon into a police state where we just have armed people on the streets. That doesn't happen anywhere in America. And that is why it has to be partnership. And if you look at these crimes and these crime patterns, which we do study, oftentimes these are very personal things. It's not as if this was a Blood, a Crip, a this gang, a that gang, and it had been something boiling up. There are dice games, and our chief spoke about that. And that's why we have to deal with and enforce none of these dice games happening, because it just happens quick. You lose money, you get upset, and something pops off. It is very hard to defend against that because there's no intelligence around it. And so we have to deal with the quality of life issues, and it is going to feel uncomfortable. It is going to feel uncomfortable. We cannot say that we want law enforcement to enforce the laws, and then at the same time, when it's your nephew or your grandson or your granddaughter or your business or your apartment building, where we say no. You can't have it both ways. We're not going to do law enforcement at the expense of civil liberties, but we're also not going to just allow people to operate outside of law and not address it. And so there might be some seasons and some moments of adjustment, but we still have to enforce the laws. And the city and the community and responsible residents have to make sure that they understand their responsibility to it. We're asking parents to go into your children's rooms, know who their friends are, check to see if there are drugs and guns and weapons. All of those things are important. We are not there to go into your homes to see what your young people are doing, but we need parents to do that. And for parents who feel overwhelmed, afraid, because there are some parents who are afraid of their children, and we understand that too. Reach out to organizations like SNUG or the police department or the wellness division so that we can help provide you with the resources and let you know where you need to go to get support.
So community partnership is a pretty big part of this plan.
Partnership is the key to public safety.
Now, Mayor, looking at the matrix from last year, comparing it to this year, would you say that crime is down in Mount Vernon?
Violent crimes have been down year after year in Mount Vernon. Violent crimes. What has happened that is differently, that I feel that people react to, is the age has changed. When people were 30 and 40 and they were being shot, that hurt already. In 2016, we had 12 homicides. In 2017, I don't have the number, but we've had, Mount Vernon has always averaged anywhere in between 7 and 10 homicides a year and a certain number of shootings. So that has not necessarily changed. Sometimes it has even decreased. But what has changed significantly and what has people reacting very strongly is that the age of the victims, 14, 18, 19, that's what's changed. And that is why we are trying to make sure that we are doing a full court press in engaging our young people and then even engaging other young people at younger ages so they don't go down that path. The other thing that is very different is that there are more guns on the street in this country than there are people. And so in the past few years, with very loose gun legislation and leadership in Washington who supports, not in the Biden administration, but before that, gun manufacturers, we now have more guns on the street than ever before. Mental health is at a higher rate than ever before. Emotional intelligence and frustration are out. And so all of those things combined with guns being available, with people being emotional, and with people being frustrated, there are more people who are out there doing this work and shooting. And so that is the focus.
What about you mentioned something about camera ring program?
Yes, camera ring programs. We will be putting information out this week about the camera ring program and how residents and businesses that are interested in being a part of that would be able to sign up. Okay?
Can you talk about that technology? I mean, as you said, it's a deterrent. Even if it doesn't work, you put on there.
Absolutely, it's a deterrent. And, we have been able to use surveillance to assist us in solving different crimes. And so whether it's a partnership with the Real-Time Crime Center through the Westchester County Police Department, or it's cameras on businesses and in residents' homes, all of those things do assist us. All right? Thank you so much. Appreciate you all and have a great day.